You know the name Genghis Khan? The entire world knows him as the symbol of ruthless conquest and ultimate barbarian. He killed millions and built an empire on blood. Yet here's the truth they never taught you. 10 other rulers were just as brutal and destructive, commanding vast empires, erasing entire civilizations and changing history. Yet their names vanished from the textbooks you grew up reading. Now this is their forgotten story. Western education obsesses over European conquerors, mentioning Genghis Khan as merely a token outsider in the grand narrative. However, empires rose and fell across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East with violence, making Mongols seem merciful. These were not minor warlords. They were empire builders who destroyed ancient kingdoms, massacred populations, and reshaped continents. Their brutality was not random, but calculated, strategic, and devastatingly effective for building power that lasted centuries. Let's start with a name you've likely never heard: Ezana of Aksum, an African king. Around 350 CE, Ezana ruled an empire in what is now Ethiopia and Eritrea, his military campaigns legendary. Ezana led his armies south, utterly destroying the kingdom of Kush, a significant ancient civilization. Kush had existed for 1400 years, building pyramids that still stand, dominating trade longer than Rome itself. Ezana's forces burned the capital city of Meroe to the ground, with royal palaces collapsing into ash. Temples were desecrated, populations slaughtered or enslaved, an entire civilization, surviving many conflicts, was erased. Ezana sought to secure his southern border and control Kush's lucrative trade routes, dominating for centuries. One African king annihilated another African civilization, a fact Western history barely mentions, as Aksum thrived. Moved to 1468, in West Africa, a ruler named Sunni Ali seized control of the Songhai Empire. He transformed it into one of the largest empires in African history, stretching across territory larger than Western Europe. His most infamous act happened in Timbuktu, which was not just another city, but Africa's intellectual heart. Home to hundreds of thousands of manuscripts and universities, it rivaled any learning center in medieval Europe. Sunni Ali suspected scholars were plotting, so his soldiers stormed the city and set fire to libraries. They slaughtered scholars dedicated to preserving knowledge, causing entire schools of thought to vanish overnight. Thousands died, manuscripts burned, survivors fled or were forced into servitude, a true reign of terror. Sunni Ali's terror secured West Africa's gold and salt trade, but devastated the continent's greatest learning center. The Songhai Empire dominated West Africa for over a century after his death, proving his brutality worked. Yet Western textbooks ignore him, focusing instead on European explorers who arrived centuries later, discovering lands already ruled. Let's shift to ancient Persia. 260 CE, Rome is the most powerful military force on Earth. Roman legions conquered most of the known world, their emperors considered invincible, until Shapur I arrived. Shapur didn't just defeat Roman armies, he accomplished what no other ruler in history ever did. He captured a living Roman emperor on the battlefield, annihilating Valerian's legions at the Battle of Edessa. Valerian was dragged before Shapur in chains, the most powerful man in the Western world, now a prisoner. Accounts say Shapur used the Roman emperor as a literal footstool, forcing Valerian to kneel from mounting his horse. Valerian died in captivity, likely as a slave laborer building Persian infrastructure, a tragic end for an emperor. Shapur allegedly had the emperor's body skinned, stuffed, and displayed in a Persian temple, a clear message. The Sassanid Empire, strengthened by Shapur, lasted 400 years, controlling trade routes between Asia and Europe. Yet modern history treats Persia as a footnote, ignoring the empire that brought mighty Rome to its knees. Do you see the pattern forming? Each act of spectacular violence was not senseless cruelty, but empire building. These rulers understood terror, secured borders, eliminated rivals, controlled trade, creating power structures lasting centuries. Move east to the Maurya Empire in ancient India, where Ashoka was a violent conqueror. His conquest of Kalinga around 260 BC stands as one of the bloodiest campaigns ever recorded. The kingdom of Kalinga refused to submit, so Ashoka's response was total war, slaughtering over 100,000 people. Entire towns were leveled, survivors enslaved or forcibly relocated, the region completely absorbed into the Mauryan Empire. Ashoka later expressed regret, claiming the carnage haunted him, leading to his Buddhist conversion. His empire stretched across the Indian subcontinent due to that violence. The peace promoted was built on corpses. Western history remembers Ashoka as a peaceful philosopher king, conveniently forgetting the genocide that made his empire possible. This selective memory, repeated for every forgotten conqueror, sanitizes, minimizes, or erases violence from historical truth. Across the ocean to pre-Columbian America, the Aztec Empire dominated central Mexico. Their rise to power was built on ritualized violence that even shocked the Spanish conquistadors. Under rulers like Ahuitzotl in the late 1400s, Aztecs conducted sacrifice ceremonies with thousands of captives. The dedication of Templo Mayor involved ritual killing of thousands of prisoners over 4 days, their hearts cut out. This was not mere religious devotion, it was terrorist statecraft, making neighboring kingdoms choose submission. The Aztec Empire expanded rapidly because conquered peoples knew the alternative was sacrifice to foreign gods. The Spanish destroyed Aztec records, replacing their history with European narratives, obscuring their strategic brutality. Their calculated use of terror to build an empire gets reduced to exotic footnotes about primitive religions. Back to Africa and the rise of the Zulu kingdom under Shaka in the early 1800s. Shaka revolutionized African warfare, creating tactics and weapons that transformed the Zulu into a dominant power. His methods were ruthless. Shaka executed cowards and destroyed villages that resisted incorporation into his kingdom. His innovations and willingness to use overwhelming violence forged an empire that changed southern African politics for generations. 10 rulers, 10 forgotten empires. Each wielded brutality as a tool of state power, reshaping the world. Their names vanished from history, filtered out by a Western narrative deciding which conquerors deserved remembrance. Ezana erased a civilization, Sunni Ali burned Africa's greatest library, and Shapur humiliated Rome itself. These were not random acts of cruelty. They were calculated demonstrations of power that built empires lasting for centuries. Tamerlane's pyramids of skulls, Ashoka's Kalinga conquest, Qin Shi Huang burying scholars alive, and Mithridates' mass execution. Each atrocity served a purpose beyond mere destruction, calculated means to an end. These rulers understood something fundamental. Brutality was a language that transcended borders and cultures. It announced that resistance was futile, submission the only rational choice. An empire was truly inevitable. It worked. Aksum dominated trade. Songhai became the largest African empire. Sassanids checked Roman expansion for centuries. The brutality we find shocking today was the very foundation upon which entire civilizations were built and maintained. Western education chose a different story. Genghis Khan became the symbol of Eastern barbarism, obscuring truth. Conquerors from every corner of the world, African, Persian, Indian, Chinese, all wielded terror as statecraft. Here's the question. If we only remember the conqueror's history chose to teach us, what then? If entire empires can be erased from collective memory simply because they don't fit the narrative, what else did we forget?